Well, if this is a stunning ruling from the Colorado Supreme Court saying that Trump should not appear on the ballot in 2024. Now, this is surprising in part because they are reversing a lower court that found while Trump did engage in an insurrection on January 6th, that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment did not apply to presidents, and therefore he should not be kept off the ballot. Now, when we're talking about this particular section, this is a Civil War era clause of the Constitution, and in here the courts are trying to assess exactly what that means. Well, it does specifically mention House representatives, the Senate, even electors. It doesn't say anything about presidents.
And who could have seen this coming? And this is very predictable. This is very simple. This is why since day one they've been referring to it as an insurrection, because when you look, and they repeat it ad nauseum, anybody convicted or anybody even now, if we even think that you're involved in an insurrection, you're barred from office. That's why they've been using that term since day one to get us to this exact same point. And this is already expanding. It's not just Colorado. You have Maine, you have Michigan, you have California, all of them, and plus many other states will be right behind them. But that's what they're trying to do. They have all these lawsuits, all these court cases that will amount to nothing, but they know that. It's all about trying to get a quick conviction, and this is going to lead into my whole point. It's all about getting a quick conviction and then saying, oh, look, he's guilty, he's a felon, da-da-da-da-da, and then it will get turned over on appeals later. It will be after the election. Then they'll say, oh, well, at least we thought he was guilty back then. It's the same thing with the Russia. We thought he was a spy. They knew all this stuff from the jump. The reason this came out, it's not no coinky dink. It's not no accident that right as Jack Smith, right, the prosecutor and all that, that's trying to go after him of all this stuff about trying to overthrow democracy and all this nonsense, he tried to expedite it to the Supreme Court saying, does Donald Trump, being the president of the United States, have immunity with this? We want to go right to the Supreme Court. We don't even want to go through the appeals court because it's going to take too long. They just want to get the case started. So it's no accident that right after he put that forward to have it go to the Supreme Court, where it could take them months, maybe even well past June, for them to rule on that. Mind you, the case is in March. That's why they're doing this. It's no accident that Colorado, their Supreme Court, came out with this little rinky-dink BS opinion or ruling that they want to throw out there right after. And what's the message? Oh, we need to hurry up and get it to the Supreme Court. They need to weigh on this immediately. We're going to put a stay on it, but we need them to rule on this immediately. It wouldn't matter if it's a 9-0, a 7-2, 8-1. That doesn't make a difference. They know that this has no footing. That's not the point. They want the Supreme Court to rule on it quickly so they can turn around and say, look, all these court cases against Trump, this is of the essence. If you ruled on that, because I believe the Gore situation with that election back in the day, I believe they ruled on that within the same week. When you had the contesting going on that, when you had Bush v. Gore. So all of that was going on. The Supreme Court weighed on that instantly. That's what they want to happen here. This is, all of these people are working together. Every last one of them, from the district attorneys in Manhattan to Fulton County with the Fannie Willis. Why do you think all the indictments were all right after one another? Mind you, didn't he leave office January 2021, right? Isn't that when he left? Why did it take till 2023 if he's such a danger? As soon as they knew that he was running for certain and nothing else was going to jam him up, they all came one after another. This is all by design.
It looks likely that Trump's first big trial, the Jack Smith D.C. trial, will commence on March 4th, one day before Super Tuesday, when voters in 16 states go to the polls. And Trump's second big trial, the Georgia election interference trial, that may start on August 5th, and it could last months.
And that's what I think some people are failing to realize, that all of these people are in cahoots. Same thing with the DOJ is working in coordination with the Jack Smith and all that. They're like, oh, it's not a Biden indictment. He reports to the DOJ. The DOJ works for Joe. So what are you talking about? None of this stuff happens without Joe's blessing. You're seeing what they're all about. They're showing you. They're not hiding anymore. That was the beautiful thing about Trump. He never walked in lockstep with them. He was an outsider. He's against everything they're for. That's exactly why they want to completely tear him down. He's all about putting the country first. We don't need all these distant wars. They don't want that. They want the opposite. That's why they're tearing him down. And some people think it'll be different with Ron DeSantis or say a Nikki Haley or whatever, even though Nikki Haley is a puppet for them. So they'll be fine with the Nikki Haley. But you don't think they'll do the same thing with Ron? They're like, oh man, Trump says this stuff. He's so divisive. They make this stuff up. They make all of this stuff up, just like he was a Russian spy. They'll say the same thing about Ron DeSantis, that he works for some Nazi group that's underground or something. They'll make all of it doesn't matter. Very fine people on both sides. They prey on the people that don't look into things themselves. Go listen to the whole thing. Like, a minute after he says very fine people, he has like an epiphany moment, like, hold on, let me make sure, because I know how they get down. And he says, I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis. And he goes back to make sure that he doubles down and makes sure that he knows that he's separating it from them.
You're changing history, you're changing culture, and you had people, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. But you had many people in that group other than neo-Nazis and white nationalists, okay?
But that doesn't matter. They will make up stories 20 and repeat it, regurgitate it on the same news cycle over and over and over again. And they're all in on it. And you got to see that with Elon Musk. He peeled back the curtain and showed you who was really running Twitter. It was the government. That's why all of this stuff is all, this same government is the ones that they knew a laptop was real. And they wanted Joe Biden so bad. Why do you think they want Joe? Wanted him so bad that they lied to the American people and told you guys it was fake. This is the same government. None of those people have changed. They are still there. That tells you the Epstein list, all of this stuff. They know who's on that. Why aren't they fighting to stop that? Why have none of those people seen the long arm of the law or justice? And you think he's the only one that had an island? Or do you think when he took himself out that all of it stopped and they didn't go somewhere else? So it doesn't happen no more now that he's gone, right? This is what I'm saying. This is what you're really seeing. And that's the beautiful thing about Trump. Even over the president, all of this stuff, all of the funny tweets, the mean tweets, he was able to peel this stuff back and show you what it's really about. What these people are really about. They don't care about the democracy and all this stuff that they keep just spilling over the airways on a 24/7 news cycle, just as well as the late night talk show hosts. They're all in cahoots. They don't care about the democracy, the border. They are showing you their hand. They're like, right here, I have a king queen offsuit. They're showing you. It's not like they're hiding the cards. This is what we have. This is the next move, and they're showing you. And that's what this is about. They already know this is going to get overturned. It should be 9-0. It should have never even been brought. But they already know that he's going to be on the ballot. That's not what it's about. It's about putting the pressure on the Supreme Court. Like, look, you ruled on this. Now rule on Jack Smith. We need clarity. They want a conviction. That's what it's all about. And if they don't get that, there'll be another fake story. Just right now, I just saw that they have this thing about some Detroit phone call now all of a sudden. But now they're telling you they can't verify it.
The audio was captured by someone present for the conversation between Trump and the canvassers. The Detroit News obtained the audio through an intermediary who heard the recordings but was not present for the calls. NBC News has not heard or verified these recordings, but earlier tonight, the reporter on this story broke it down to my colleague Ali Velshi.
So you guys know how the false media gets down. If they really have a pocket aces, let's see it. You guys are showing all this stuff. Now it's some random guy. Oh, I can just tell you what I heard and all that. Watch, you're going to come to find out that they're going to have a call and they're going to try to see if it can pass the AI test. I wouldn't doubt that, because if they had this call in Detroit and all that, they would have been done shown it. These people think that they're slick, but the only aggravating part is they show people and people are still naive to it. You think this is going to stop after Trump? After Trump is long gone. You think that this is going to continue this way? They want the one party rule. We're going to tell you when you can come and go. That's why they have all these mandates coming down the pike. You don't need a gas lamp. We're going to tell you don't need a gas stove. You need an electric stove. You need an electric car. They already tell. What was Nikki Haley telling you? That, oh, everybody, there's no more anonymous people online. You need to reveal your true selves. They are showing you what they're all about. That's why they pump her up so much. Because she works in cahoots with them. And with Ron, and that's a shame. With Ron has a battery pack in his back. He's being told exactly what to do. He knew what was going to happen as soon as he announced that he was running. He is just another obstacle that they put in the way, somebody else that they are controlling. And that's finally out for everybody to see. But some people just don't believe it. They just think, oh man, this is just a coinky ding. Oh, Ron's so much nicer. They won't do this to her. They'll make it all up. And they pray and they love the people that don't look into these things themselves. Just like I said, we're very fine people on both sides, walking over the graves. They'll do the same thing. Say Ron were to win, right? Oh, all these mistresses will come out. Or anybody, even if it was sloppy Chris Christie, right? All this stuff. Oh, did you know that he had this Dairy Queen exclusive membership card that all you can eat and he never put it on his taxes? It will be something like that. They will, if they can't find something, they will make it up. But people seem not to realize that.
Because it's all part of the plan.
But I would love for you guys to bookmark this or put it in your watch later playlist or whatever. Keep a mental note. Watch this. They already know the Colorado thing's going to get overturned. It should be 9-0 like I said before, but whatever it is, doesn't matter. It should get overturned. It will get overturned. But it's all about the Jack Smith thing. They want them to rush forward so he can hurry up and bring this to trial to get some phony conviction and to tie Trump up, because they can already realize that a lot of these court cases are not going to happen. In the real world, you have motions, appeals, all this other courts and all this stuff it has to go through. And they know that. They just thought that by hitting them with all these indictments, 91 felonies, calling them a racist, doing everything we can do, they thought that that would just destroy him politically. And it has the opposite effect, because a good amount of people see it for what it really is. And that's just the sad times that we're in. But I'm telling you, the government is the one that's completely behind all this stuff. And they showed you with the laptop and all the islands and all the stuff they keep under wraps. Why do you think that's happening if they're in your best interest? It's very simple. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.